Can you tell? I have like a violetish t-shirt on underneath my teal sweater. Violet is the crown chakra, and that's what I want to talk to you about today. The crown chakra is your doorway to the upper chakras, the upper planes of awareness and consciousness, really. And your crown chakra is about inspiration and mysticism. This is my favorite place to hang out, in these upper chakras. Oh my gosh, I have so much to share with you today. Thank you for tuning in and joining me. I know your time is valuable, so I hope you find value in what I'm about to offer you. Hello, and welcome to the Constance Messmer Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. So your crown chakra is located at the top of your head, right? On your crown. It is where the traditional 7 chakras, 7 energy centers in the body ends, is at the crown chakra, top of the head. And it's known as the gateway to these higher planes of awareness. And in working all my years in this incarnation with the chakra system, teaching it as a Reiki master for 30 years and a student of Reiki, all of this time, I really love entering into the material present in your chakras and in my chakras. This is why I wrote Soul Yoga, right? Is because there's this plethora, these vaults of valuable information that can be found at each of the chakras. And the crown chakra, when I was working with people's crown chakra, I could feel it. I sense the energy in my hands. I encourage you to try doing that too. And I would notice that the energy of the crown chakra spiraled out of the top of the head like a funnel, right? Going up. The rest of the chakras in the body, for the most part, come out the front and the back, but the crown chakra spiraled up. But when I really started to work within it, hone and differentiate what was happening above the top of the head, it was obvious to me that not only are we encapsulated by our auric field, there was also more happening. There were other energy centers in the upper chakras. So I'll be getting into those in future episodes, but this one has always been known as the mystical, the inspiration, these centers, this center of inspiration and mysticism. And inspiration because it was inspirational thought or inspirational knowing from beyond, and this opportunity for mystical connection. Can you tell I'm really just, listen, I'm channeling this whole thing. I'm like listening, but I'm also allowing spirit to speak to me with this beautiful dance of energy. I think it's the best way to present the crown chakra because it's actually, in fact, how it functions. It's not so much a space of doing as it is a space of being. What the crown chakra brings to you, this is why people get these glimpses, right, of these experiences that can be kind of differentiated in the upper chakras, whether it's this, communion with and conversation with via psychic rapport with realms of spirit or cosmic consciousness, this connection to each of us and karmic connection to past lives, right? And divine consciousness. This is the gateway, the crown chakra. And so we might have glimpses and moments of these other experiences that I'll get to in the upper chakras, but they might not hold. So the crown chakra is where you might have, kind of this dizziness or this, spiritual exhaustion or this, just spiritual kind of unraveling or these dark nights of the soul because you're just having this, am I connected? Am I not connected? What's happening? And those are opportunities for soul growth to really step into these moments of connection. And I'm always a fan of, put your hands on the chakra. And so for you, it would be if you put your thumb tips, if you put your thumbs at the top of your, or maybe even in your ears, or at the top of your ears, depending upon how how big your cranium is, right? And then where your fingers meet at the top, where your middle fingers meet at the top, that's the crown chakra. But maybe you can sense it or feel it, at the top of your head. Some of you, I'm tuning in, you feel zippy energy around there. Um, I wonder, I'm sure this is where babies have that, because Spirit just told me that, where babies have that open space that closes as their skulls develop and their brain develops and grows. Fascinating. I never knew that. Thank you. So, thank you. Thank you. That's wild, right? So, the crown chakra is also where out of all of the 11 soul senses that might be experienced at different parts of your being, this is where claircognizance occurs. Claircognizance is clear knowing. So it's this direct knowing, these downloads, and typically from spirit, right? Loved ones that have crossed, maybe, but definitely angels guide, definitely divine consciousness, this deep knowing, especially angels and divine consciousness. Often their communication efforts are by way of claircognizance. And this is the crown chakra where that kind of resonates at that frequency. Good. This is like really interesting. Some of this is actually me translating the vibration of this information. How's that for those of you that do mediumship? This is coming in as a vibrational experience of knowing. It's not a straight knowing, it's a vibration, and I'm interpreting the vibration of information as it flows. Now, listen, I'm very familiar with this information also because I've worked with it, but the way that the words for words that I'm relaying to you is coming in on a vibrational frequency, which I find fascinating. So, I just find fascinating. Maybe this is a good moment for a little commercial break. I am very fussy when it comes to several things, one of which is crystals and gemstones. I don't know about you, but sometimes you just can't trust what you're getting until you get it, and then you're not sure, whatever. I have a trusted company that I would like to suggest for you. It's Outer Spirit. And I'm joining with them, and they're joining with me to offer you a discount. You can check out the show notes to see about that. There's 20% off or 30% off, depending upon how much you want to fill up your shopping basket. I fill up a lot. Today I'm wearing their aquamarine gemstone bracelet, authentic gemstones, so beautiful. This is the small mini beads. It's delicate and gorgeous, just gorgeous with their charm, their signature charm. The other cool thing about Outer Spirit, which is based in Monterey Bay, California, is that when you make a purchase, they donate off of that purchase to protect wild sea otters in Monterey Bay. I adore that. Right? They're just altogether a great company that I stand by. And I just want to gift you with the opportunity to get a discount if you're interested and in need of some authentic gemstones that you could stand by to help with your own vibration, right? The aquamarine brings about balance and confidence, which I adore. I use it specifically for my sacral chakra, but also the suggested, which is what they suggest, is the throat chakra. Their packaging is exquisite. Inside each box, this beautifully crafted box, Outer Spirit, they have a card about the properties and the chakra that they suggest working with, right? It's gorgeous. This company's stunning. I just really highly recommend. So don't forget, codes for you, 20% off, 30% off, depending. And I hope you enjoy Outer Spirit as much as I do. And we're back. So I use mudras and asanas and gemstones that I mention in Soul Yoga, my book, to help you kind of bring energy and awareness and focus to this area of your body, to the areas of all the chakras. But the asanas, which are yoga postures, right, are fantastic because your body can act like an antenna that when you tune it a certain way or turn it a certain way, you can hone and harness energy. And the same is true with hand mudras, right? Let me see if I can stand up and show you the hand mudra that I use. Yeah, I'm. Can you even see this? if, if you're watching on YouTube, it's easy to see. I put my fingers, I stack my fingers one on top of the other, and then I bring my thumbs together to form a triangle. Um, and my palms of my hands are both facing up, right? So I use this one often when I'm focusing on my crown chakra, but I also allow my body to go spontaneously into hand mudras, which is how I first discovered which one really resonated with each one. You can do the same with gemstones. Listen, I have to mention these gorgeous earrings that I'm wearing. These are uh you see these amethyst earrings? I don't know if you could zoom in on them. These amethyst earrings were made by a local artist, and I wear amethyst when I'm working with my crown chakra and the upper chakras. The artist that made my earrings is her work is available. You could check her out online. Her name is Sue Eagle. I'll put a link in the show notes, and it's spelled SIOUXEAGLE.com. Her work is gorgeous, really gorgeous. And her packaging is just stunning. It's like a little present. It's a present. It's so beautiful. And I I wear them and it brings the energy to this area of my body around the top of my head, around my crown. I love amethyst. I've been working with amethyst forever. Did I tell you that I have amethysts in my walls in my office space at certain places? Definitely in my treatment room. So they're not only on this gorgeous ledge that I have that I keep these chakra bowls with certain gemstones in pertaining to each chakra, but I also put them in the walls because we had to do a lot of remodeling in my office space. It just needed a lot of work, right? And so I was like, well, the body of the office, the body of the building, the body of this space needs a little bit of kind of assistance, and amethyst was perfect for my office space where I used to do reads and where I used to do healing sessions. It's still set up, and I don't do those anymore, but I will do them when I'm out teaching in venues. So look out for that. Sign up for my newsletter at constancemessmer.com to make sure that you're notified if I'm coming in your area or close enough to you that we could meet. I would love that. Love, love, love that. Chills. Chills and goosebumps. Yummy feelings. So I love Sue Eagle's work. I love her work. Just amazing. And I also love supporting local artists and small business. So I want to mention that I do use amethyst when working with the crown chakra. And do you want to hear something funny? I also use wait, hold on just a sec. I'm going to mention something else. I'm just trying to figure out how do I want to mention it. So another gemstone that I have discovered to use at my crown chakra is iolite. Iolite I typically use at the throat chakra. And if you bought Soul Yoga and you've read through it, you'll see that the way iolite is there in print is the only typo that I'm aware of in the book. I think it's spelled leolite. Liolite, how's that? With an L. It's starting with an L in the book as opposed to an I. I think that's hilarious. Anyway, iolite is great. I usually use it on the throat chakra for the properties there. And it's interesting because when I partnered with Otter Spirit, they suggest use of iolite at the crown chakra and also brow chakra. So I thought that was fascinating. So when I got their product, their iolite product, and I took it out of the gorgeous bag that they have, I held on to it. And closed my eyes, and I encourage you to do this too when you're buying gemstones. Close your eyes. You see, if you're watching on YouTube, I just smiled. So I put it in the palms of my hands, cupped my hands around it like in prayer position or begging position, and asked the gemstones, like, where's your frequency best attuned to for my body, right? And it 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 actually, the energy went right exactly where they've advertised it should, between the brow chakra and the crown. And it really is interesting to me because I use it at the throat chakra. Now, if you're watching on YouTube, I've just put it at my throat chakra, and it just created this spark of clarity at my throat chakra. Don't be afraid to kind of experiment with how the gemstones work for you in particular. And so this could be due to past life links, right? Or greater awareness in this incarnation as to properties that might be coming up for you. You know, it could be that you had a past life that you were cut off from your spiritual connections of the crown chakra, and you were not able to speak about any of it. So there's this interesting link between throat and crown for you. And so for me, I'm going to put the iolite on my wrist for this episode because my friends at Otter Spirit say they always suggest that it be used with brow and crown chakras. And I'm having this really interesting, since putting it on, I'm smelling frankincense. Is that frankincense? Yeah. Listen, I don't have incense going, but it smells like frankincense. That's fascinating to me. So I'm gonna have to look at that. Is that a past life? Is that like a spiritual, thing? We know it's a spiritual thing, right? It's so fascinating. I'll tell you more about Otter Spirit in an advert within this episode, but also it too will be in the show note links. A way that you could support my content and buy yourself some beautiful products and support Otter Spirit is by using my dedicated link that will get you not only access to the site through my ambassadorship with them, but also I'll let you know of some discount codes that you can use for percentages off for your purchase. And don't forget, Otter Spirit helps otters. They donate for every purchase of a bracelet. They donate $1 for the wild otters, sea otters, which I love. So I hope you'll check them out. Think of, gift giving is always a good thing with their beautiful, beautiful gemstones that they have in various styles and qualities. So the iolite it's interesting, and this is what I invite you to do. You can even imagine holding the gemstone, right? My hand's getting really hot. And imagine it in the palm of your hands to see, will this resonate with me? Should I get this? And you can even ask, who could I gift this to? Who could have a beautiful effect with their, crown chakra or their brow chakra or their throat chakra using iolite? These kind of things. It's interesting to me. Remember on the throat chakra that I said this is where some of you maybe have been, loss of life around the throat chakra. I don't want to trigger anybody's, trauma past of ancient lifetimes. Um, that it's interesting that I would use iolite predominantly at the throat chakra, but Otter Spirit is suggesting the upper, the brow and the crown, which I agree. It resonates there with me as well. So it's an interesting healing effect for this head, for your head, if you've had past lives that have been affected, where it's been cut off from the lower connection of the heart and on down, right? And your work on the planet. This is definitely the time that we need you. The crown chakra, a lot of people's crown chakras are opening up so that you might feel spiritually discombobulated or all over the place, or you might be having spiritual awakenings. You might know things without knowing how you know them, ClairCognizance. You might feel like you're hearing voices. We talked a bit about that in the brow chakra episode, but you might be hearing voices because your crown chakra is activating, and you're starting to come into realization that the voices in your head aren't all just from you. They could be from, helpful realms of spirit and guidance coming in as guidance, angels, beings of light, right? To help transform you and work with you as a change agent to awaken the planet. This is definitely coming in right now. So I'm telling you because, yes, it is real. This is your clarion call, your wake up call. It's coming. And so when I ever would work with clients or working with you now or working on my own, I would, if I felt a little discombobulated and unraveled, or just, just kind of these swirling thoughts, or just, mentally and emotionally kind of taken out, take a moment, go lay down. You know me, I'm always about laying flat so there's no lines in the body. Um, this is why a lot of times I know meditation, they're often saying sit up so you don't fall asleep, sit up, straight back. But there's many times when I lay flat to meditate and I might fall asleep, but I really also travel a lot when I meditate, and I travel to the higher realm. So if this resonates with you, give it a try. If you're feeling a bit out of sorts, take the time to lay down, put your hands on your heart, maybe put a hand on the top of your head and say, what's happening now? And how can I aid myself? How can I help myself into this greater expansive awareness if that's what's happening? Sometimes we might get headaches or might feel just really disconnected, not grounded in our body. We might be more in the mental aspects of our life, which is very brow chakra, when we really need to be in the intuitive spiritual space, because we're being called to this greater kind of awareness or vast awareness of living and opportunities of this interconnectedness. I think it's really important now, especially when the planet needs so much help emotionally, environmentally, politically, societal, um, this connection with each other. This is the crown chakra opening up to these higher realms of awareness and truth, right? This decent, deep truth of interconnectedness. And, it is not those things of greed. It is not those things of selling out the environment or selling out people for personal advancement or political advancement or corporate advancement. This is not those times. This is not those times. So I am grateful to those of you that are awakening to the awareness that the crown chakra can bring. Absolutely. Absolutely. Um, what's interesting is spirits talking to me about telling you about sacred sites. I might have mentioned this before, that some of you might be really drawn to sacred sites, and they could be known, quote unquote, known sacred sites around the planet: Machu Picchu, the great, the Giza pyramid, or the great, oh my God, the great pyramids of Giza Plateau, these kind of places, these places, the River Ganges, like all of these, Mount Shasta, these known kind of places. But you might also, Ayers Rock, wow, who needed me to say that? Go, go, chills. But you might also be drawn to your own spiritual sites that you have connection with and reverence to. That's, I'm like, oh, that bring meaning to you, so that you can embody these spiritual principles that are there for you. They're waiting. Sometimes we like hang our cap up and our power up at a sacred site, promising to return to it in a future incarnation. I know I felt that this way with parts in Mexico. And, and so, when you're drawn to go somewhere, if you can, go. If you can't go, you know, go with the resources of your mind, visualizing yourself there, astral projecting, looking on in magazines, books, online, map, whatever, to image and imagine yourself there fully, wholeheartedly smelling, seeing, feeling, using all of your 11 soul senses to be present, to bring about this awakening that is very much aligned with the crown chakra, bringing in this sacred ancient knowing, that you're coming back, swoop up and scoop up for your own potential. And in this way, the crown chakra is very much linked to the karmic chakra, kind of this leftover business or picking up where you left off. It's the karmic and the crown and the solar plexus, personal power, self-esteem, who you are, what you came to do. These three create this beautiful link in recorded time, space, history of embodiment now with all these power things. I'm getting angels are hugging me and surrounding me, and I'm sending it on to you, because just close your eyes and just feel their support and love. I'm sensing you crying. And so some of it's time. It's time for the change. It's time for, the motivation. the lackluster work or the lackluster feelings that you're having now is because it's time for change. There's some changes on the horizon, but you need to step into it, stepping into your power, letting go of your past, reclaiming who you are by your birthright. This is the crown chakra. What crown are you supposed to be wearing, really, right? This is also the glow of the spiritual paintings and arts that have halos. This is same, same, same. And so it's that, allowing your space to be completely alive with this spiritual presence. There's this sacred stillness above the mind chatter. When you take the time to sit in meditation and go there and allow your eyes, sometimes your eyes will roll up. That's what these images are in these, well, there's not really images in a mosque, but there's, these sacred saints and stuff like that. They're looking up for a reason. These spiritual adepts, these mystics, they're looking up for a reason because it's this higher frequency of vibration. It's not a dude on a cloud or whatever. It's this higher frequency of vibration of spiritual existence and awareness and these beings of light. This whole space that we're meant to encapsulate here in this incarnation. So I'm not putting down any religion. I'm saying to embrace the power points of it, that those are these frequencies that are of a higher plane of, especially when they're of love. They will not have you cause harm to anyone else or yourself. They will not ask you to bring on war or famine or trouble or abandonment to anyone. It's all about goodness, light, and love. And so there's this sacred stillness that can occur above the mind when you take time to tune into those spaces that are of the crown chakra. That is the gateway that allows you to move to these higher frequencies. It does become the shift of doing to a shift of being. So the doer can sometimes happen in the brow chakra of thinking things through, overthinking, stuff like that. The crown chakra is connected to knowing. It's like, oh, I know I'm supposed to go do this, so I'm going to honor that. I'm going to do it. I don't know how it's going to turn out, but I just know I got to do it. Do it. See how it goes. This is that you kind of relaxing into and sinking into your wise self, which is very much the crown chakra. It's right before the next time we get together, we're going to talk about your higher self. that that is yeah, that's super cool. And so this is the doorway. So sometimes we get these glimpses of the higher self consciousness, higher awareness through the crown chakra, but the crown chakra is really an invitation to step through the doorway. Step through the doorway, right? It's this invitation to embodying the potential of the upper chakras, really. And all of these are all of the chakras in this study that we're going through with the 12 weeks of the 12 chakras is about you embodying the potential that is at each chakra, like deeply, truly, spiritually embodying the characteristics that are there, the strong, beautiful characteristics that are there, the positive, powerful characteristics that are there. And your crown chakra is all about your mysticism and your inspiration, and allowing that inspiration to flow to and through you into your very life. This is your mystical side, that ability to see deeper into others, embrace your 11 soul senses, to have mystical connections and experiences that are of profound nature, be them with angels or guides or nature, trees, plants, animals, auras, interconnectedness, someone around you, someone you have a difficult time with, you know, me. It doesn't mean you have to hang out with him, but you just might see him differently. Spirit. Somebody said, love him and leave him. Sometimes you do have to, because, sometimes we're on a different trajectory than someone else, and you can only do so much. And it's not your job to really save everyone. Is that what you're saying? It's not your job to save everyone. It's your job to be the best possible you, and that will resonate out, right? But I am also saying, do whatever you're called to do, but make sure it's a true calling and not a feeling of, you know, a feeling of obligation that's coming from the wrong space. So I'll let you sit with that and unravel that. But you'll know. This crown chakra is about really tapping into this higher potential. And if you're watching me, I've got my hands on my heart, my eyes are closed, and I'm kind of smiling because I can't help it, because I'm going into the energy of the crown chakra and the opportunity and gifts that reside there and waiting for you. You know, this beautiful experience of this spiritual aspect of yourself and embodying that in your physical in a new and profound and different way. And so I just hope you will take a moment to sit in sacred stillness, to step into those spaces and awarenesses and levels of consciousness that reside beyond the physical, that are waiting to be embodied, breathed in and embodied, so that you see through those eyes, see through your eyes as the mystic, live, speak through your eyes and thoughts as the mystic, speak and be the mystic that you're called to be, right? And allow that to resonate and pour through your heart, mind, body, soul experience. And the crown chakra is that gateway. So be sure to read the chapter on the crown chakra in my book, Soul Yoga. I think it's got a lot of helpful information in there. And just by bringing your intention to that awareness and your attention, right? Bringing your intention for attention to that awareness, things can start changing, because, you know, where mind goes, energy flows. So I'm asking Spirit if there's more. Oh, you know, sometimes when we're having these spiritual awakenings, we can go through some serious crying jags. I know I have. I was working on my next book just this morning before recording this, and I was tuning in, and sometimes I'm so in the flow of clear knowing that I'm moving paragraphs and sentences around without thinking. I'm in the flow of being, not doing. And then I go back and I read it and I am floored. Who wrote this through me? You know, who wrote this through me? And they're like, we can't do it alone. We need you. So that's what I'm saying to you. I know you're compelled and called to do more and be of service on the planet, and just let your life and your divine light and your soul essence shine through. I know that about you. That's why I'm helping you every way I can, in any way possible. And I hope if my work helps you in some small way, if my work helps you in some small way, I hope my work does help you in some small way. And in those moments that you recognize you're shifting, or that you're opening up to these greater opportunities that the crown chakra brings to you, just say thanks. Not to me. Not to me. Just say thanks. Then I too will be amazed, am amazed by your greatness. I am. When I look away, sometimes I'm trying to see you. The light that is you. So, anything else, Spirit? No, I think that's it. Don't forget, I'll add the links below for my dedicated link for Otter Spirit, and a link to my artist friend, Sue Eagle. All right. I love you. I believe in you. Until next time, thanks for tuning in.